Are you there?
I'm always here, Dan. I never leave.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought maybe I was going to be doing this show by myself tonight.
Oh, you are.
Oh, fantastic.
This is going to be a true test of your ability.
Hey, I got a surprise for you, Troy.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited.
You'll see it later.
Okay.
That sounded weird. That's not what I meant.
Oh.
All right, rapid fire questions, Craig. You got 5 of them here. You ready?
Got it.
Okay, one after another. Don't think about it. Just answer. And we didn't change anything from last week when I wasn't here.
No, but we changed it while you weren't there because we got the okay to do that from me and Susan.
All right, well, it's back to the original questions.
Yes.
All right, ready? Question number 1. If you had 1 hour with any haunter, who would it be?
No, man, there's so many of them. You know, I've never met the Pirates of Embersand people. My right hand person has at the bar at Trans World, and I'm like, I want to meet these guys, and I don't even know who it is. So the folks that run Pirate of Embersand, because I really want to.
All right, that's a good one. All right, number 2. You're the first on the haunted house trade show floor. What booth do you go to first, and what do you purchase?
Ooh, being that I have a shark from Gore Galore, I have the OG shark. He'll probably go see what he's got going on.
All right. And what are you getting when you get there? Shark? You already have a shark.
I already have a shark. I really like some of the puppets on the chain. I have a spot. I really get that in there. But I'm spending so much on escape rooms. it's in the back burner. But yeah, he will be getting a call.
All right. Number 3, Troy or Dan?
Well, since Troy's about to be a Texan, I have to go with Texas because we are our own country, and Troy's about to apply for application for membership.
Wow.
I hope the test is.
Wow.
is
But there's a connection. My daughter went to college in Portland, Oregon, so.
And she made it back?
She made it back, and she's not indoctrinated.
Shit is loud. You got to turn that volume down.
You know, it's not loud on my end. I don't even know.
It's not
anymore.
loud on my end either.
You know what? I'm just going to say I'm packing.
Anyway.
I'm out till June. Bye.
The end of our show always ends with 5 rapid fire questions. And we fight about changing them every week, but we still do the same ones. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Try and respond to them as quick as possible. Are you ready?
Sure.
And number 1, if you had an hour with any haunter, who would it be?
Oh, see, that's just not fair. That's just not fair. John the Flamboy. He and I hang out and talk a lot, so it's fun. Always fun, John.
Yes.
Okay. You're the first son that I already know.
Yeah, this one.
This isn't even fair.
This one kind of lost.
Everybody's waiting for this.
You're the first one on the trade show floor. What booth do you go to, and what do you purchase first?
Bum, bum, bum.
You walk in and you see that first booth.
I don't purchase anything, so it doesn't. I walk in. I go to my booth, and I don't get to go out except to pee.
Exactly.
So just give it up, because that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
so let's say you weren't Gore Galore. Where would you go?
Gore Galore.
Yes.
You know it.
The one night we thought we were not going to get a Gore Galore answer.
Yes.
We get a Gore Galore answer.
Pretty much. All right, question number 3. Troy or Dan?
For what?
That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all you get.
You got to go.
Let me just say.
Oh, it's got to be Dan, because
okay.
I'll make him my beep.
Just to go on the record, I have been in Kevin's pants before.
That's right, you have.
If you have 1 hour with any haunter, who would it be?
Oh man, I don't have one. I can't do it. I have too many people for different reasons.
He says Troy Crivelone. Okay, moving on. Next question.
Perfect.
You're the first one on the trade show floor. What booth do you go to, and what do you purchase first?
Beastcraft.
Beastcraft?
Yeah, it's gonna be one of their big ones.
I love their stuff. I absolutely love their stuff.
And I gotta tell you, dude, they're not super stupid expensive.
No, they're not. They're not.
No, they're reasonable. All right. Question number 3: Troy or Dan?
Oh man, Troy Dan.
That's one for Troy.
And one for Dan.
Troy was first.
Dan was second. What are you saying? What are you saying, Susie? Are you saying he should pick you? Is that what you're saying?
Susie's got
I'm
3
saying
on here. She's
Troy
got
did-
3. On
I do. I actually do.
She stole 3 from us, Dan.
Yeah, well, blind squirrel will get the nut once in a while.
Wait, what'd you say?
What?
I missed that.
Panties.
Oh,
Question number
no.
4: If you had a chance to go to any haunted attraction, which one would it be?
Oh, what's the one in St. Louis?
Darkness?
Darkness?
Yes.
Darkness?
Yep.
Okay.
So the answer to the first question was Larry Kirchner.
Does anybody say that out loud? No, I don't.
Oh gosh, no. Larry would love to hear it.
All right, cats and kittens, buckle up for the Haunt Hour. Brought to you tonight by Haunt Collective. Tonight's gonna be a real gas. Let's give a big shout out to our groovy host, Susie Fleesick, the sassiest chick in town. Troy Crivelone, a real cool cat. Or unicorn. And Dan Doble, as sweet as apple pie. Now, let's roll the red carpet out for tonight's special guest, Grant McDonald. Well, that sounds like a darn tootin' good time. So cats and kittens, kick back, tune in, grab your sodas, and dig the vibes of the Haunt Hour.
Dude says dig the vibes.
Dig the vibes.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Haunt Hour, which isn't going to be an hour. It's probably going to be more. Just saying.
Few minutes.
I'm Dan. This is Troy. Say hello, Troy.
Well, hello there. Hello there.
Hello there.
Here.
Hello there.
Here. Yep.
We're missing someone tonight.
We are. She wanted me to let everybody know what's going on. So she started an
Wait,
OnlyFans
can I
for the
guess?
coffee shop.
Oh,
For
damn
the
it.
after hours, only when her and her husband are working, not when anybody else is. And so she was busy uploading lots of content, and so she got tired. Rightfully so. I get that. And
It's an emotional drain, I'm sure.
slinging coffee, as they put it, is pretty draining. So she's gonna take the night off. She's gonna refresh, and she'll be back next week.
Caffeinate, maybe?
But yeah. She'll caffeinate a little
Maybe?
bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think, hey, what do you think about this, Troy? This is totally off the cuff.
Okay.
What do we ask if anybody out there wants to come on and be a guest host and take Susie's place just for the night? Put it down in the messages. Troy will send you a link and we'll pop you on here.
That's right.
If you don't, hey,
We just found out about this like 8 minutes ago, so I didn't have
literally
a
8
chance
minutes
to do
ago,
that.
So I was like, what can we do? Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, Troy, guess what?
What? Hold on. Wait, what?
I got a haircut. Breaking news. Man got his hair
Not
cut.
just hot news, breaking news. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. It's all gone. It's all
God.
gone.
Did you,
No more.
like
Got nothing left.
there is did your property taxes go down?
I fell down. I was going to cut the grass, but then it started snowing and it just gone.
Right, naturally, because that's Wisconsin.
Yes.
Obviously Locks of Loves, the people who do the cancer wigs and stuff like that, I'm sure they are done for the next 10 years. They don't need any more hair. They're good.
There was a few tears shed, and they weren't by me.
How much did the dump truck cost to haul off the hair?
I'd rather not talk about it. I'd just rather not talk about it. It's a sore subject.
Okay.
Sore subject. All right. But it's okay.
Touchy subject.
I feel light and sprite right now, so I'm ready to go. I think that's why Susie didn't come on tonight. I don't think it has anything to do with, well, maybe she's emotionally distressed because I don't have any my hair anymore, but it's possible. I mean, anything's possible, right? Well, at least in my own mind. It'll work. It'll work. So what's going on, Troy?
I'm doing just fine. Hold on.
April Fool's was just up.
Was it ever up?
I'm sorry. Usually I have somebody else to talk to, but now you have to do two things and I get to talk to you.
That's all right. Look, I mean, oh Jesus, what the hell's going on with it? There we go. So I am the proud new owner of the Haunt House in Caddo Mills, Texas. I bought it a couple of weeks ago after Transworld, and Michael and
congratulations. I can't wait to come down and run your art department.
Yep. Oh no. That's Melissa Winton.
Costume.
You are actors. You're actors.
That's right. I was actors. That's right. My bad. Hey, any chance I get to get back into the haunted industry, I'm in.
Right. And we are obviously bringing back Dan from Dan's Haunted House, of course.
100%.
I mean, because we have to revive that fight too. Of who is better.
Indeed.
But in all actuality, I mean, I spent some time on this. Let me just tell you right now.
Yeah, I mean that looks.
But it is an April Fool, so. Yes, I've actually been known to do some pretty good April Fool's jokes. The one that I loved the most was about, and it may have been 10 years ago. I actually did, and part of it was real, and I had actually talked about it a little beforehand, was that my company that I was working for had a office in Canada that needed some help. And there was talk of getting they actually paid for my passport in real life. And I was going to go up there and work for like 3 or 4 months and get that place up and running and do all the shipping and basically get it going. And so my April Fool's joke was that instead of that, so I kind of went with that. But then for April Fool's, I said, I'm actually going to be moving there. We're moving the whole family. We're moving up there. I put it on Facebook and I shut everything down. My phone, everything. It got to the point where my friends were calling my mother, who we were out to dinner with at the time. They were calling my mom to find out why I wasn't answering. Awesome. And I didn't tell anybody. It went so far. And I let people sit for hours on it. And then finally came back and said, sorry, I'm not moving to Canada.
Hey, speaking of people that want to sit on this show for hours.
Right?
I see somebody in the green room.
There is.
Did we get a hey,
what?
Yeah. I cut all my hair off and you grow it all out, my friend.
I need a haircut so bad. Oh, I'm jealous of you guys, but it's still chilly here. Though it was warm today. We were somewhere in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what our guest was telling us was that they every time I seem to go up to Edmonton and not go to Daryl's haunt, it gets warm there.
But you were able. I wasn't able to make it down to Transworld, and Troy was able to send some decent gifts, decent swag bag, both from his own stuff and some other stuff that he's seen. We don't have a Buc-ee's up here.
Nope.
And my wife really likes Buc-ee's, so I actually had Troy pick something up, and I gave it to her for her birthday. A little early for her birthday. It's in a couple of weeks, but I couldn't hide that anywhere in my office.
It's kind of big.
It's a decent size. It's a decent size mug, or like a tumbler. So do what you got to do and give her a birthday present early, and then I'll. Now I got to go out and get something else to give her on her birthday. But
okay.
No, I thank you very much, Troy. That was some cool swag.
No problem.
Along with the stuff that Brian sent me if he's actually watching tonight.
Well, this is a surprise. Did you text him?
No, not yet. I probably should.
He's
Hey,
probably,
Brian, guess what?
Guess what?
he's probably getting his booty
I do
sleep.
believe that if you're on the show, you get to drop, shameless plugs.
Well, all he can plug is, being a post office guy. I mean,
Well, I was
he
going to
doesn't do
say,
anything else.
Speaking of shameless plugs, Daryl's got a bunch of them in his head right now.
No, these ones are real. None of these are plugs.
Those are real.
It's not the Rogaine. It's not the plugs. Up until my dad passed away, he had a pretty vicious widow's peak. He had a 5 head, but it wasn't just a 4 head anymore.
What are you trying to say?
You just have a head,
but he still had some hair that he slicked back, and he just turned 80, and he still had, it was white. It was no longer the black that I knew when I was a child, but mine hasn't gone to the white stage yet.
Yeah,
it's okay. It looks good on you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna say I'm jealous.
Well, like I say, I might end up with a Troy. I might end up with something like you. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But
it does
whatever the way the wind takes you.
It's yeah. Right now, it takes it all over the place. If it is windy,
you never know where it's gonna go.
Right? Well, my hair only looks good 2 ways: really short or really long. Back in the day, I used to have, I could put a couple of braids or a couple of ponytail elastics in the back to keep it out of my hair or keep it out of my face as we were swimming and surfing at the mall. So that was a long time ago, back when I had dyed it multiple colors. Yeah,
I think we all went through that phase.
Yeah,
in the 90s.
Let's see. Corinne seems to think you have a question mark in your.
Oh my God, he totally does.
It does.
It's just to make people ask that question, is
right?
Yes. Everybody asks questions.
And I didn't notice it until Corinne said it, and then it's like, oh shit, there it is. That's funny as hell.
Can't unsee it now.
No, can't unsee
it. Making that second guess on why you came on this show tonight, Daryl.
That's funny.
No, you were just the first sucker to say something. So
Yeah.
So I think, but with that, I think it is time for. Why is it not? Okay.
Do you want me to just say it?
I added these in, and I don't.
I added these in.
They're not there.
They're not there. Yep. And
hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's good. I like that one. You got to keep that one.
Yeah.
The haunting news. What's going on in the haunted attraction?
I like the first one we did because it scared Susie, so that one will get played a lot.
Oh, is that why she's not on tonight?
Probably. So in our haunting news so far, and I didn't actually talk about it last week because I want to talk about it this week. I actually put a question out on Haunters Toolbox as well as the Pro Haunters Hangout of who is doing eclipse haunts. Now, I saw it on Haunt Hub where somebody was like, oh, imagine doing an eclipse haunt and capitalizing on every day of the year. And now I get it, okay, that, yes, you can have a haunt every day. You can be open every day. You can be Mortem Manor in Florida and be open every day. You do kind of lose a little bit of that cool factor about being in October. But a lot of these places are full-fledged businesses now, and they can't just be open for 6 weeks, and, leases have gone up. All the property taxes, all the things that are involved with running a haunt have skyrocketed in the past bunch of years. So if you have the opportunity to run and be open and you've got a bunch of actors, maybe not all of them, and you've got people willing to come, why not?
You pay your rent or you pay your mortgage all year. If you're only open for 10 nights in 1 month,
Right.
it doesn't pay the bills.
No. Newsflash, everybody. Haunted house owners are not rich.
Well, you know how you make $1 million being a haunted house owner, right?
Selling it.
Start off with 2 million.
But I'm bummed.
That's good.
That's a good one. I might steal that one from you, Daryl. I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm lucky enough to live in a state where the eclipse is coming right over my house to the point where I can walk outside and see it without going anywhere and spending $800 on a hotel room. But it also is going to be cloudy in Texas that day so far. So those people are going to not really see a cool eclipse. But
yeah.
As far as I know, these are the only 2 haunts in America that are open, and they are in the path of totality. So it makes sense that they're going off of that. And there's going to be a lot of people in town that most normally wouldn't be in these towns on April 6th and 7th. One of them is Afterlife, and that is just north of me, about an hour north of me in Paris, Texas. They do not speak French there, I found out. So there's that. Not like in Canada where you got that weird Quebec area.
Hey.
And Dark Hour Haunted House.
Interesting.
Now, Dark Hour is doing a dark theme. Like it's going to be probably a blackout with some sort of a light,
yeah.
And
what's in the logo?
Afterlife is doing their
regular.
Yeah, their regular haunt. And you also got to do a last ride, and you got to do some escape rooms and stuff like that. But Dark Hour has done the last 2 times they've been open. They were open for St. Patrick's Day and for Valentine's Day. They did their serial killer game where you were running through the haunt to try to get away from being tagged and getting murdered in their haunt. So this one will be different for them, where they can, they can have less actors and stuff because the darkness is an actor unto itself. But yeah, so you can, if you're coming down to Texas for the eclipse, you can go see 2 haunted houses. I was hoping other ones would do it. But if you've got people that are coming into a town Paris is right in the line, they're probably going to have a couple, at least 5,000 to 10,000 extra people in that town. Why not?
Are you going to go to either of these?
Yes, I am going to Afterlife because I've been to Dark Hour many times, and Afterlife is one that I have not seen yet, and I've been told it's really good. So this is an opportunity for me to go see it before the season. I was going to go in October anyways, but yes, I will be going to Afterlife. Me and Ashley and Elizabeth are going. So
that's fun. How long have they been around?
A good while. I think over 10 years.
Okay.
So they've been there for a while. It's
sweet.
Supposed to be pretty good. So evidently they have an adventure park during the day too. So they have daytime stuff too. So, but other than that, Dan, do you have any news?
No, other than I cut my hairs.
That's
about very enough news that I can give you right now.
Well, I think it all leaked out of your head once the hair went away.
Yeah, how are we doing on those panties?
Those panties, they are in pre-production. Sean Mills is actually individually screen printing and drawing the items onto the.
Is he drawing them while wearing them?
Yes, because then you get the angle right and everything, and you get the wear right.
I mean, you want to make sure everything's.
He's actually using
shadow in the right place, if you know what I mean.
Susie is sending her markers to him to use. So
got it. Okay, there goes the sales right there.
There goes the
sales.
Kevin
says I need more news. I ain't got no news, man.
Well, he's making dinner. Kevin's making dinner, so
yeah.
Well,
so just go back to the kitchen.
You're talking about haunts, for every day and every holiday,
right?
Were there many Easter haunts, and were there any actual April Fool's haunts this past?
Not April Fools, but I did see a good amount. Some big
April Fool's haunt. What are you talking about, Troy?
Oh, the haunt house, yeah. I know that Necropolis in Indiana did an Easter one, and they do every year. But yeah, I think there were a handful that did Easter, and I know that there are a bunch that are doing halfway to Halloween, which is kind of a thing of debate because a lot of people say that halfway to Halloween is like the April 30th. It's the last weekend in April. And then a bunch of people are saying it's like the 13th and 14th of May.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess if it would be 6 months from October 31st, and it would be April 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So then,
but what if your Halloween season starts in September? You can start it this weekend, and
there you go. Because
2 weeks.
What is halfway to Halloween to a pro haunt? Halfway to Halloween to a pro haunt could be the 13th of September. I mean, a lot of haunts are opening early in September now.
Yeah.
So like Susie always says, when I say how many days are left until Halloween, she says, I hate you because it says 200 and something and she gets like 100 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin said that Chicago had 2 Easter haunts and one of the halfway to Halloweens is coming up.
Who was open, Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin, tell us, Kevin.
Kevin, tell us who was open on Easter.
And I have no problem with haunts being open any time of the year. If you've got an audience that wants to see it, what's that any difference than a carnival or an escape room? Or I mean, it's so Mind Trap, another Bill who is a pro haunt owner, says halfway to Halloween is 6 months before opening day. So opening day for you, opening day for your haunt versus like a dark hour opens. Like,
I mean, I guess it's subject to.
It is.
It is.
Now I know Haunted Calgary also had an Easter event too, and poor Christine, the person who was running it, ended up breaking her phone. So she's looking for camera suggestions for their haunts. So if anybody sees that post on Facebook from Haunted Calgary or Christine Campbell, give her some ideas as to what kind of equipment you use in your haunt that's durable enough that isn't going to get run over, but takes decent pictures in some low light situations. So
yeah, because obviously scare cams are one of the coolest things. We've got some haunts coming up this season on our show that are home haunts that have some amazing scare cam stuff. And I know like Ken from Onmore Manor, they have several cameras set up everywhere. So I'll find that post and tag Ken in that because I know he uses a lot of good ones, and he's Canadian, so she would know. It'd be better to get it from a Canadian source than America. So yeah, we'll be talking about the Canadian to American, the
exchange rate. Oh, look, you can get this on Amazon.com. You can't get it on Amazon.ca without paying, like $500 import fees. So that $49.99 item is like, $193 here. Stupid.
Speaking of Amazon.ca, you like that segue? Come on, that was a good segue.
No, that's not a segue. We're not there yet, Dan. Damn, shooting ahead.
Come on now, I'm just excited.
I know you are. I know you are. So
what we got here?
We were graced with a DIY from the Hollywood Haunters.
Ooh.
They have not put on a DIY in quite a while. So they were tasked with doing a lot of stuff at the Winchester Mystery House, I believe, right? Yeah, right? I think
you're right.
Yeah,
sounds right.
California stuff. Anyways.
Yeah.
And they decided that they needed to make a freshly dug grave without actually digging the grave.
Interesting.
So it involves, messing up the dirt a little bit and stuff like that. But it's all made out of spray foam.
Wow.
And then you dirt it up. They did make a hole, but you wouldn't need to make a hole. You could actually.
Well, that hole was probably already there. They just needed to cover it up.
Yeah, so that's what it would look like without it actually being,
not going to make a hole, but we did.
We did. But yeah, this DIY will show you how to make, all of the tombstone and the.
These guys are so awesome. They're so talented.
Oh, they are. And I love that they're back making DIY videos and showing what they made. If you look, there's an Easter egg in the back of this, and they have a video on this too. This moon-shaped thing looks like the cool moon with the sunglasses from the claymation stuff back in the 80s.
Yeah.
They actually made a photo op of that, and there's a video on their page of how they made that.
That's fun.
So
was that Mac the Knife or something?
Yes, Mac. Yes. Yep. Yep. It wasn't McDonald's used it too, I think.
Did you zoom in on this picture? There's so much cool stuff in here.
Oh, I know. There's a lot.
There's a skull and all the fucking carving tools, the pumpkin over there in the corner.
It's a bit messy though.
Yeah, it's still there's so much fun in there.
Yeah, Chris needs to.
It's a workshop. What do you mean? It's supposed to
right.
look like that.
It's not messy. It's perfect.
Exactly.
I know where everything is.
Right. I know everything is in there. It's look at me. I'm Dan. I know everything about everything. Yeah. Winchester history.
Yes, you do, Troy.
Yes, I do. Oh, Kevin also says it was the Insanity and Basement of the Dead had their Easter haunts.
Got it.
So yeah, I will put this up on our page as usual and on our DIY playlist on our Haunt Hour YouTube channel. Yeah. You know what else has been really big on YouTube? Is how to make things out of nothing.
Your transitions are so awesome.
And probably the person that comes greatest to mind about making something out of nothing, as well as kitty litter boxes, would be none other than Grant McDonald from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Same thing. Okay.
Have to start to go off right. Sorry, I had to do that because there's two hosers on air.
Take off, eh?
And one of the SCTV persons, Count Floyd, died today. So.
Yeah, that's sad. Joe Flaherty.
Joe Flaherty, yep.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
We're talking Canadian. It's a whole different language.
Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
USA.
Yeah, he played in Happy Gilmore. He swore at the heckler.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you jackass!
Jackass!
Yeah.
Really? That's Joe Flaherty.
Well, I guess he's not going to be on Happy Gilmore 2 then, hey?
No, probably not.
Oh, well. Well.
Hi, guys.
Killed that whole conversation.
Hey, Grant, how are you?
Hi, girl. I'm good.
Trying to find my other. Oh, wait. Let's see. There we go. Working on stuff back here.
All the Americans. Oh, they're good for something.
Is that what we're going to take shots at each other all night?
Oh, we could.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
It's all good.
It's going to be haunting. What's that? We all love that. Okay, moving on.
So, Grant, I know you have a storied history of yourself as well as, haunting and where you came from and all that. So as we normally start the show off with, we would love to know more about you, where you started in haunting, back when you were a kid, what got you into all this madness, and you get the floor. So.
Oh, geez. I grew up in a very artistic, I guess, family. I grew up in a Ukrainian family and did a lot of things involved with Ukrainian things. Main thing was Ukrainian dancing and performing on stage. And I've done that for about 40 plus years, performing on stage and doing things like that. That led into instructing, and some of my instructing led into I did a Ukrainian thriller dance, and I used my Halloween props for the zombie dance that they performed and things like that. So I blended in some of my Halloween stuff with some of my Ukrainian stuff, and it worked out really well. Got used to stage black lights and stage lighting and things like that, getting to know stage production as well, being part of that kind of thing as well. So that blended into a lot of things that I've done. My mom was a big part of that, for sure. And my baba, Ukrainian grandmother. I first started drawing on Easter eggs, Ukrainian Easter eggs and things like that. And they're very delicate to do. Some of them are very intricate and things like that. So I started doing that about 5-6 years old. And, I guess started drawing and doing other crafts and things like that. My first memory, I guess, of doing Halloween things, I think, was grade 5 or 6. There was a book on how to make makeup, and I think it was just like using jam or whatever else on. I can't even remember the name of the storybook, but I remember taking that book out a million times, I think, from the library, and just, from our school library. I should have just stole it because I took it out so many times. So it was one of those things and I learned there was a makeup tutorial on how to paint a skull face, and I wanted to be a reaper. So I did my own makeup that year, I think in grade 5 or 6, and continued on from there. I've had some very interesting jobs, I guess, which also led down the line to other things. I went into mascot making, or first I went into silkscreen printing. So I've silkscreen printed on just about anything man has made to print on, hockey sticks even, things like that. So that's where I started. Started that in school. Went to art college for a semester in art college. That didn't pan out for me, and learned more outside of school shit anyways, rather than, inside the classroom, that kind of thing. I learned more things hands-on. After silk screening, I found a job making mascots. So I was a mascot creator and got to make many CFL, NFL, you name it, McDonald's, Warner Brothers. We did a bunch of the Warner Brothers characters. And I got to lead one of the characters that was made for the 2012 Olympic Games here in Vancouver. Oh. And the character I personally worked on was called Quatchy. It was a 6-foot Sasquatch. And the character had to walk in and he had to play with a goalie stick and all sorts of stupid shit. And, but yeah, so my shit was seen worldwide, pretty much. After the mascot company, I went to a place called Art Attack. They make and design blacklight things for, I think it's Shanks in America. Is there a Shanks, things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of it's a base company based here in Canada. So I designed all sorts of stuff for museums. I think there's even one in Texas. Maybe you can look that one up, Troy, while you're there. There's a big helicopter, Apache helicopter, that I helped design. It was the size of our building. It's a full-scale Apache helicopter that we made out of styrofoam. And I don't remember what Texas museum it's in, but yeah. So I started working carving and things out of styrofoam for that company, and did all sorts of kooky stuff there. After I did that, I got a job making and designing real headstones. And I actually did take my Halloween tombstone designs in for the job application and showed them, here, this is what I know. No shit. That's awesome. So I gave them a background because I learned how to carve, and I learned how to learn a little bit about what it takes to do some of that work. I didn't know the full gamut of it, but there I learned how to do sandblasting, and that's how they carve stuff on tombstones, is you use a sandblaster. And some of that is very interesting to do, and it was very cool to do. I even got to make my own mother's headstone. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I got to make my own mother's headstone. So I think not many people get that opportunity to do that.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. Halloween wise, there was a big festival in Edmonton for about, I think it was 15-ish years. Daryl was part of that, called the Scarecrow Festival. And that's actually, I think, how I got to meet Daryl.
Yeah.
Is through the Scarecrow Festival. And it was a very big festival for a thing called, I can't remember that.
ABC Head Start?
There you go. Thank you. ABC Head Start, which basically helped kids who didn't have school supplies or supplies for school or that kind of thing. So it was a big festival that was held in basically almost a hockey arena sized facility. That's about the size I can compare it to. And it had games. It had haunted house that the university fraternity put on, and that was all done in 3 days. So we had to put it all together in 3 days, 3 or 4 days, I think it was. We got in there on the Tuesday and started full gamut of building everything that we had to do, go into whatever was needed. I did a lot of work for them. I started off in the decorating committee, and that was my first gig with them, doing all the decorations that did it, where that was going on in there. And I tried to theme it to different themes every year, or bring in different things every year that I made personally. And then it kind of helped them out and helped me out later on in my own haunt. So it was, and I built a lot of big stuff because they needed a big area to fill. So all of my stuff that I built was large.
Yeah.
To fill that kind of space. So that is decorating committee. I was part of that. Went on to venue, and then went on a thing called Mortal Wounds, which was putting wounds and slashes and whatever you wanted to put on kids. So they would pay a certain fee or whatever for this process, and you'd do a slash or a wound or whatever it was, bullet head, bullet wound, those kinds of things. So that was kind of cool for us to do as something there. And got a little bit involved with the haunted house, but not a lot, because I was doing so much other stuff, and the fraternity basically took hold of that. Yeah. And they needed to take hold of that because that was a big process to put on. It wasn't a very huge haunted house, but there was a lot to it. And only 3 days to really get it up and motivated. So they came in and plowed on for every night. They were there, I think, till 3 or 4 in the morning. And I think they'd get there at 11, turn tunes on and go to town and start building stuff.
Right.
Met a bunch of haunters through Fright Fest Northwest. That was the first action that I got to meet haunters outside of Canada, where I got to meet some Canadians and Troy and people like the Davis Graveyard, the Rousseau family. I can't remember their haunt, but there was so many people I met there, and names are just like fly by me because I met them so many years ago. That was about 2005.
Yeah.
When the Fright Fest Northwest started, I think ish.
Right.
And then there was another one called Fright Fest British Columbia, Fright Fest BC. And that's still going on, and still one of the only Canadian places where you can go to gather and meet other haunters.
Yep.
Is that location. So I got to meet a lot of people through those two connections, and learn a lot of cool things. Pneumatics especially weren't really known here in Canada. There wasn't anybody teaching them, and it was harder to find things because you know, back in the day there wasn't all this influx of YouTubes and people doing that kind of stuff, right? So it was harder to find people who did this. So it was fluky to find these people. I think at first, I don't even know how I met Diana. Diana was the person who founded Fright Fest BC, and she was an amazing haunter. Yeah. And you know, she had her own haunted house or haunted barn for the longest time and things like that. So yeah, it was really cool to meet those people. Fright Fest Northwest kind of turned into West Coast Haunters convention a little bit. A lot of the haunters from the Fright Fest Northwest went into the North or West Coast Haunters Convention and did stuff there. I went to that convention many years, and the 13th Floor Canadians were very well known. We put out we were known as the Embassy.
Yeah.
And everybody tried to outdrink Corinne, and that was not going to go.
People are still in the hotel room trying to outdrink her, and she doesn't even have to be there anymore. It's taken care of.
It's just a residual, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think they put her name on the door. Actually, I think it's
Corinne's room.
It's Corinne's room.
Corinne and the twins, yeah, the terrible taste twins, yeah.
I think it's 1303. I think it is.
Yep. They had the side rooms. It was, and that was for the first couple years of West Coast Haunters. There she is. For the first part of West Coast Haunters was I thought it was very great. They put a lot of effort into it, and there was a lot of different props and things that were first. Then it kind of just it got stagnant after a bit, I guess, in a way. And whatever, things like that happened. And I won many costume awards there with either 4 times, I think. Yeah, I think the Canadians took hold of the costume department for a while there.
I know. Yep. I know. Corinne won a couple years.
Yep.
You won several years.
Yep. Angie was 3. I was 4. Corinne, I think it was twice. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we were always there in presence, and we made an impact. That's for sure.
Well, it's because in Canada it's so cold. You have to stay inside all the time, so you can't go outside. So you have to just make things. You're just bored.
That's
so
it. Yes. Yes.
You make cool costumes because.
That is a good factor for us to do anything here, and that's a big load. Is our weather, and usually we can't get outdoors and start building stuff till May-ish. Sometimes it depends, but even during Halloween time, it's a crapshoot for outdoor haunts. And that's why I kind of stopped my big outdoor haunt. When I was running it, I think I ran my big outdoor haunt for about 5 or 6 years, and just Canada just showed up every time, and I think, it was just not fun.
Wind, and snow, and
I mean, it would change in a heartbeat. One day it'd be, and Troy saw it. He was there for some of it. One day he was there for that Halloween. The next day, I showed him pictures, and everything was covered in 2 feet of snow. So, it's kind of crazy, and that affected a lot of things that I put out. I couldn't buy a lot, and I didn't want to buy a lot of the shit props that we can get here. I mean, you can get any kind of prop you want here, but you have to the bigger props you have to order from America, and we're losing 30 cents on the dollar, about roughly. And then you have to add on, I think Daryl mentioned the other taxes, import taxes, and tax on stuff. It's very difficult to get these high-end props into Canada just because of cost. And that's a lot of reasons why I think there's not a lot of big haunts here. It's just one of those things. That there isn't a lot of pro haunts, maybe just because of that reason. They just can't afford to import the stuff here.
It is. I mean, it makes you definitely DIY. I mean, probably the majority of Canadian haunts are, the pro haunts are way more DIY than anything down here. Because you have to. I mean, unless you want to drive down there and drive it up, and
Daryl could maybe touch on that more because he's involved with he's actually involved with one of the more.
But I've only got experience from 1 or 2, right? I know Edmonton. We've got a lot of stuff from the big names, Gorgalore and Immortal.
That's the only time I've seen those kind of props, right?
Yeah, Haunted Calgary is starting to get some, but again, it's you need to have that money, and sometimes it seems that some of the American companies are, we can ship to the States. Canada will maybe get it there. And I know at Edmonton, we've had some issues where props have been delayed because of either not shipped soon enough or stuck in customs. The stupid things, like even with my own business, sending stuff to the States and then sending stuff from the States. Canada, if you want to import anything into the States, you basically have an $800 limit from some countries. If you want to import anything into Canada, you've got a $20 limit before they start taxing you. So,
yeah, that's why when I send the awards, people win because inevitably we have a Canadian that wins an award on the Home Haunter Award Show. I always put it's a $10 gift or it's a $10 sample. so that they don't have to pay, plus, I mean, the award is, worth whatever it is, but I mean, you can't really put a price on an award because somebody handmade it.
Right.
So there's nothing to verify a price with, but I always put a $10 sample, so then it doesn't hit that threshold, but it doesn't look like I'm cheaping out by putting $1, then you're like, well, wait a minute.
Why is the box this big and it's worth $1?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I did my outdoor haunt. Like I said, I did a front yard and a backyard, and Troy can kind of tell you how big my backyard is. I have a fairly large pie-shaped backyard, and this was one that Troy's showing now. Is I did a whole haunted hockey night in Canada. So this is when the Edmonton Oilers were changing out of the building that they played in for how many 30, 40 years.
Right.
And so they were changing venues. And I almost got onto Hockey Night in Canada, but I missed the phone call from them and to try and get this onto hockey because they were playing the Calgary Flames and we hate the Calgary Flames. So it was a good time to do it, and everything here was just very, put together to do with hockey and celebrate the kind of 50 years, 60 years of haunted hockey night in Canada. So yeah, and I had so many Oilers jerseys over the years, and I had lots of Oilers memorabilia because either my wife's father or myself were big fans, and and it was a good time to put it out and things like that. So Roach's Corner, and so Don Scary and Rotten Ron McLean, I think. It was fun. So that's the kind of thing I've been doing more now, is kind of more little smaller theme things with my haunts. It's more display than it is a walkthrough, depending on what I was doing. COVID changed that a little bit too. I did because my friend Diana there passed away, and she did what the heck was it called? A trick-or-treat trailer and some items to go with, like, almost the Fright Fest BC theme, kind of thing. Yeah. I think that was I think that was my last year. What your video you're showing now is what the last year I did.
The walkthrough?
No. This was not was it a walkthrough? I can't even remember. Yeah, there was one, yeah. I think I did one last walkthrough, that kind of thing there. And that was the end of my Halloween big time thing, which I thought.
So so he thinks. Did you keep everything?
Nope. A lot of it is gone. Well, a lot of it no longer exists. So all that styrofoam stuff you saw in the yard is all at different people's haunts. There's some in British Columbia. There's some in Grand Prairie, Alberta. There's some in Southern Alberta. My haunt stuff is all over Alberta right now, and lots of people have it.
Yeah, when I was there a couple of years ago, we went and we saw Cody with Nightmare on. I'm going to butcher it because I always do.
Athapascan.
You should wash your mouth out with soap, sir.
Yeah. Rude.
And there was what did he have in his yard that was yours?
Couple tombstones, I think.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to walk around with Grant and then go to these other places like that's mine. But there's the snow. I mean, look, this is great.
Yeah. That was a bad snowfall that year. It dumped, and you can see the green grass. So it was greener than hell the 2 days before, and it puked. It absolutely dumped. And that's been 16 or almost 25. I think there's only been 1 year that has no snow during Halloween or after Halloween-ish. There's only been 1 year that I've been snow-free. To either take it up or tear it down.
When you're because all this is foam. Where did you pick up all the foam carving? Did you just start doing it and just kept at it, or did you learn from somebody?
Nope. I just started doing it. And I think doing it a little bit with the mascots, because I had to sculpt cheekbones. It was a different type of foam, though. That was an upholstery kind of foam, but it worked the same kind of way as styrofoam did. So I got used to carving like cheeks or round forms or noses or things like that for that. That kind of led down the path into carving more styrofoam. And it was all, that was when I started working for the company, Blacklight Company. That's when I started to learn more processes of how to actually carve. And do more intricate carving, more rocks, more tree bark kind of stuff, all sorts of dinosaur textures, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you are the texturing king for sure.
And this is all white foam. It's not that pink stuff. This is all that light, dense white foam. This stuff I got mostly from a dump site. And it was blocks of 4 by 4 foot by 4 foot blocks, about 8-inch thick. Jesus. And I got about, I think I got about 18 or 19 or 20 of those blocks, and I used them for just about everything.
Right. It is.
Just think of all the stuff that you saved from going to the dump, though. The world is a better place because of carving.
That's for sure.
Of course, you have to coat them with toxic things, but we won't talk about that.
I only use paint. I only use latex paint for my stuff because I knew Alberta was going to eat it. So I'd coat it in about 4 or 5 layers of oops paint. Just shit paint that I had in the last couple I'd spray it with airbrush or whatever I had with just the regular latex gray paint or whatever that was, and that's how I did it. I think I repainted those tombstones, or that I still have a structure outside that's still covered in styrofoam that has my home number on it. So I carved a home number plate on that. So, Bill
wants to know, what is your favorite hard coat for foam, if you even use it?
Never used it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's only hard coat is a weird
ice.
Word. Snow and ice. Yeah, just hose it down.
Snow and ice. It's a great hard coat. Looks great in the winter.
Pretty much, it could have. The company I worked for used an industrial coating, and that's a real hard coat. You could hit it with a golf club. It's bomb-proof, basically.
Wow.
It's like a bed liner kind of stuff.
Okay.
Other hard coating, I don't say it's really a hard coat, because it really does not strengthen it might strengthen the styrofoam a little bit.
Right.
But it doesn't really, you can beat it with a hammer.
Take an impact. It's
like the top of a creme brulee. You hit it with a spoon just right, and it all cracks.
Right.
Yeah. So hard coating is one of those tricky things, depending on what you're using it for. Right. Outdoors, sometimes I just coat it in a slurry of concrete mix.
Yeah.
Over top of the styrofoam. That was good enough for me, and it would survive a long time.
Yeah,
you know?
I always
for Halloween, so it wasn't, other than keeping it outdoors for storage,
right?
And stuff, whatever. The more beat up it looked, the better it looked, anyways.
Right.
To me,
yeah,
like it looked less fake.
Yeah, I've only ever used paint or monster mud.
Sometimes if it cracked or whatever, I just go and take a heat gun afterwards and heat gun it again and blast some black on it or whatever, and it'd be just a brown spot there, right? It was simple to touch up.
Yeah,
you didn't have to do a lot.
We get there.
Teammate, what is this car here?
Okay, so I decided to make a Christine. So this is the front end of a Christine. The piece of styrofoam is a piece of styrofoam. The rest of it is a piece of shed. So I had a shed that I ripped down, and it had all the shed material, and bent the shed around to make it look like an old 50s Christine 58. And it was blacklight. I never got to use a blacklight because where I had it in my front yard, it was a waste. But this year I may use it again in the backyard and put blacklight spots on it. So when I built this, I took things from the movie. The Mobico is the gas station that Christine ran into and started to burn on fire. It was called Mobico.
Right.
So this I started to carve and put together, slopped on some great stuff to add that fire texture, to give it that gravelly fire texture that would make it look like it was burnt.
I love how that's a milk jug for a handle.
Yeah,
impressive.
Yeah, you should see the stuff that Grant can do with milk jugs and plastic bags and leftovers, basically. Man's incredible. What can I say?
Yeah, that is an incredible.
Yeah, the Christine was a lot of fun. That year I did Christine versus Ghostbusters.
He did.
So after I did all of it, I said, well, that didn't look good enough. So I took a angle grinder and started punching holes in the shed with the angle grinder just to make it real beat up looking. And then made it look like it was on fire. Had a fake fire going on it, and then a smoke machine for Halloween under it and things like that. So that was a fun one to do. There's the fire and a little bit
That's
more
so
of it
cool.
really done.
I know.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How heavy was it? Because is it easy to move around?
It was, because it was very light because of the material I used. So
sure.
I could pick up that whole thing almost by myself or put it on I actually wanted to put it on in a cart and make it movable so I could push it around. Yeah. And that was still an idea. I'm going to probably rebuild it a little bit this year because it totally was just bodged together with whatever I had. It wasn't built
absolutely
very well.
love this. The fact that we'll spend hours trying to figure out how to make everything blow, and he's putting in this little wire frame with a stand fan.
I mean, we're sitting there, we're watching Halloween Hellmouth cut an actual car apart,
right?
And he's over here making a foam thing that looks better than that. I mean, come on.
It's just a simple effect.
It's so
cool.
Again, we're from Canada, so there was snow fence available. And the snow fence I just used to tie on material so that when I put up a big pot fan at the bottom of it, it would just blow the flame. Old school flame tricks, Yeah. So there it is during Halloween with a little bit of hovering smoke. It actually was perfect that night.
was gonna say,
and since Canada gets really cold, I don't have to use a chiller. That's no chiller, no nothing.
Right?
That's
There's no chillers in Canada.
Just walk outside, it's a fucking chiller. God, I can't wait to see the fog on the ground. Fucking cold outside.
So this led into the Ghostbusters. I made this little Ghostbusters facade that looked like the building of Ghostbusters. And I own a close to Ghostbusters kind of car. I own a 1956 Cadillac hearse. So that kind of blended in with that. Troy will probably show that a little bit later. So that's really what it looked like, and that was in the garage and fire and smoke.
That looks that is on fire.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there.
That was a lot of fun. It was a good theme to do. For me, it was a quick, easy theme. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. The next one you're going to show is called Pirates of the Legend of the Ogopogo Pirates of the Prairies. So there's a song by the Arrogant Worms called Last Saskatchewan Pirate, and it has to deal with stealing wheat, barley, and lots of Canadian stuff. So I took that song and basically made a haunt to it. So I built a pirate ship and built an Ogopogo, and this is what you're going to see now as part of that the North Saskatchewan pirate thing.
Now,
for those that are unfamiliar,
what's an Ogopogo?
Yeah, for those that are unfamiliar with Ogopogo, it's Canada's Loch Ness monster.
Correct.
Give or take.
Nice.
We should have put that as a skill testing question.
Right?
Name all the Canadian things. So this was my first walkthrough in probably 10 years-ish. So you can see the size of my yard. When I had my walkthrough, it went through all the back portion of where the fence is, all the way through the back and where those sheds are. Right. So when I did my whole haunt, it did this. So I made lots of characters in this one, and some of the mermaids, and I tried to name them all. I can't remember the names. I named some of them. I can't remember half the names I called these characters. They were just weird things, and they all died of drowning causes and things like that. So I tried to blend it in with the theme I did with a little bit of mermaids, making mermaids, and the Ogopogo blasting through the ship.
When he told me, he goes, hey, guess what? I'm making a ship in my backyard all out of foam. Oh, he left us. He'll be back. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make this big old ship, and I'm gonna put it in the backyard, and I'm gonna make this Ogopogo stuff. And I was like, what? And unbeknownst to him, I had not told him. He was the only one. No, I think nobody knew that I was coming to Edmonton except for Hugh and Therese. Daryl didn't know because I didn't go to his haunt.
So rude. So rude.
I've forgiven him.
Okay, that's good. I mean, you shouldn't. It's the haunt industry, but
you're dating the drug. That just means I have to come up there again. See?
Exactly.
It's true.
But yes, so I went to his house, and I actually surprised him, and he had no idea that I was coming there. And I walked into, because
so good at that.
Hugh went along and messaged him and said, hey, me and Therese want to come see your yard haunt. When can we come? We want to come tonight. And he's like, oh yeah, come on by. So I get there, and they walked in front, and I walked in behind, and his wife knew that I was coming to make sure that, because he normally would have worked that night. So I walk in behind, and he didn't recognize me at first. Like he didn't process I was there. And then he's like, so he started talking to Hugh and Therese. He's, oh, the hoser! Look at the Troy! What the hell? It was so awesome. He was talking to Hugh and Therese for like a whole good minute, and I was standing right in between them, and he
didn't put it together until then.
And
that's awesome.
Like he had come to my house probably about 10 years earlier than that. And he came to my, came down to Oregon, toured a bunch of haunts and stuff like that. And, and so I always said, someday I'm going to go up there and surprise him. And so once I knew that I was coming up to see everybody, I was like, well, not everybody, but almost everybody. And that I was like, I've got to surprise Grant. And so, that was a big thing for me.
That's good stuff.
So while you guys are doing that, I will message Grant and find out what happened to him.
That's okay. As you see the yard and when he put the lights and stuff on it, it's such a difference between day and night. He's
as such any haunt. I mean,
as is any haunt, yeah. But 6 weeks earlier, this was chunks of foam and garbage and a few other things. And you walk through and it's like, damn, this is really impressive.
And what's interesting about what he does, I mean, no other haunter in probably the world does something as unique as this, as with the storyline, and so much he puts so much history into it, this one especially, that every character had a part in the story. There was all history in this, and so he had a lot to pull from, and he felt that it was his way of honoring all of that. He's very big into history, very big into that type of thing. So,
and this would have been the last time that you ever saw this arrangement of these objects present together, right?
Oh yeah.
You might see that Ogopogo head at another time, or you might see a mermaid at another time.
Yeah,
but you're never gonna see them. He changes things up every year.
Yeah,
so extremely changed up. Other than some of the same props, he still got a toxic barrel. He still has his organ.
Bodie has a toxic barrel.
Oh, Cody does?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Do you still have the organ? Didn't you have it in the shed?
Nope.
No, you got rid of that too?
Oh yeah. All of that. Like I said, every piece of styrofoam that I had is gone.
Except for the ship. Now you have the ship, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Because that was just last year.
Yep.
Yeah, it was oh yeah, here's some actual pictures that I took. His lighting was really good. It really did make me feel like it was in the water and stuff, and with the way that everything moved and stuff. And I'm gonna find a picture of the dragon build, because I know there's stuff behind the bag, how you built the dragon thing there. But yeah, you just your storyline with it really flowed, and him walking through with him, he was like, well, this is this and this and this. I was like, I'm literally listening to a history lesson. It was very cool.
You've met Grant.
It was a bit on that, because I wanted to be a little history on it. There's a lot of history I put into it because of the song and everything I put into it.
Right. But yeah, I know I'm trying to find the pictures of the dragon.
There's so many. It's probably hidden somewhere.
Well, between the car pictures, how did you come about? I found it. How did you come about getting the hearse?
So I have owned 4 different hearses. The first one I had was a 92 that we named Creepy Jen. Then we bought we got a one from my wife. That was a white one. The guy called it Penelope. We hated that name, so we named it Creepella.
Oh yeah.
And then we bought the 56 a couple years after that. And then we went to a funeral home auction, and we decided that we should buy another one for some stupid reason. Well, not really a stupid reason. They were selling her not brand new hearse. I think it was a 90 something hearse for like $2,000. We couldn't pass it up.
Yeah.
So we sold that car, I think, for like $6,000 or something like that after. So maybe a good profit off of that car. The 56 was posted on a Kijiji site, which was a basically Canadian version of Craigslist.
Okay.
It was posted on a Wednesday. I went to High River, Alberta, which was 4 hours away from where I live. Drove there, picked up the car, and drove it home. And then I've had it for about 10 years now. I drove it for 2 years before everything decided to basically punch out of it. The power steering punched out of it. The motor was pretty much shot. The tranny was, pretty much everything was gone out of it. Whoever had the car before I did poorly installed a bunch of stuff in the car. So it was not really, it was already bodged when I got it. So I bodged it more. Or actually my best friend bodged it hard.
Right.
It's basically a brand new car inside of it. We've all upgraded to basically 2010 technology. So there's an LS3 that you would have in a truck in it, air ride suspension. It's been upgraded to the balls inside. Interior is custom. I made this like steampunk interior to it. And we've been involved with the Hearse Club for a number of years. I've taken my hearse pretty much all over Alberta, and sometimes with the club, we've gone to a couple haunted houses. We went to one in Red Deer, Alberta last year. I think they were celebrating their 20th year, something like that.
Was that Z99?
Yep. So that was a good haunt. That was the first time I've seen. They spent a lot of money on their haunt, and they brought in some stuff that I've never seen before. Like you don't see distortion stuff up here in Canada very often. Mm-hmm. And they bought in a very big distortions props and a bunch of distortions props. So they do it for Boys and Girls Club in Red Deer, Alberta, which is about an hour and a half ish away from where I live. So haunts are very hard to find here, and you have to know where they are. And there's some good ones, and most of them are really cool. Most of them are home haunts, and pro haunts, not many.
Yeah. So
there it is.
Where did you get the dragon head first?
Oh God, I think it was Spirit Halloween.
Okay.
Long time ago.
And then kitty, and those are kitty litter boxes.
Yep.
I love it.
So yeah, I made this one particularly for the Haunt Cycle category.
Oh yeah.
For the Home Hunter Awards and stuff like that. So I made the Ogo Pogo specifically for that. So it was a quick build, just basically out of clat boxes to get the neck to work right and make it look like it was coming out of the water. I wanted to do the whole thing in cat boxes, but I didn't have enough cat boxes to make the humps, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to anyways.
Right.
You just don't have enough cats, that's all.
No, I had enough. I had 2 of them. I had enough.
Yeah. There's a lot of cat poop. There's a lot of cat poop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just started making it look like a fish.
Yeah.
And here's more part of the pirate build. Again, this is remnants of Halloween forever.
Yeah, he told me, he goes, I'm gonna use stuff. I'm gonna use all the stuff that I haven't used or it's been laying around. I'm gonna make it all into a haunt this year. I'm like, okay, here we go.
So all of it. The round piece that's in the back portion of that was I think I did a merry-go-round, and that was
from your carousel.
Yeah, the carousel. So the back of the ship is part of the carousel that I had at Airgrow Festival about 2 decades ago. Yeah.
Damn, that looks cool.
I know, right?
And yeah, it's just a basic plywood form. You know, I tried to make it last and make it durable so Canada wouldn't blow it down.
Right.
Damn Canada.
Damn Canada.
And I was going to put it in the front yard, but I decided that the backyard was better for it, just for the lighting wise. My front yard has a really big, crappy
street lamp.
So.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah.
They get upset. The city gets upset when you try and block those or break them to.
I was going to put wires. Yeah. Actually, there was 1 year or a couple of years that Shaw Cable actually came for a couple of haunts, and they did a pumpkin. They called it the Pumpkin Patrol, and they would come to certain haunts and do this pumpkin patrol and make sure everybody was safe. And my neighbor next door always had a big meal, and sometimes prepared meals for my haunt crew. So that was kind of cool. But then the Shaw Cable guys got a hold of that, and they go, "Oh, this guy's got a full pig and roast and stuff." So it was cool. That's more the Pirates of the Prairies. That was one of the captains. More cars.
Yeah.
You're getting car show pictures.
It goes from Halloween to Cars. If you haven't noticed.
Yeah. Is that on my main page or is that on the other Grant McDonald one?
I don't know. You have like 7 pages, so I'm trying to find where all of your stuff is.
Most of it's on my main page. Yeah.
So this is what it looked like.
Yeah.
After I left.
That's right after.
The next day.
It's like the next day.
Right there the day before. That's the very next day.
Damn.
It's just you couldn't even walk.
Canada all over the place. Just
all over. Just Canada everywhere.
Just Canada everywhere.
So
it still looks cool though. That's what I love about it, is that it still looks really cool, even though it's got snow on it. I mean, I've seen, I have several other, haunter friends that are up in your area and stuff like that they all have a year at least where they've got pictures of nothing but their stuff in snow.
Yeah.
But I still love how it looks, because snow doesn't not mean Halloween. I mean, it snows on graveyards all the time. So,
yep.
And you guys all use it to your advantage. Even though it sucks, you still make it look awesome.
But as a child, you're used to the snow because your parents always made the Halloween costume big enough to fit over your snowsuit.
Yeah, that's the same as Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
same as Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And that looks awesome.
Yeah,
that looks super cool. Just try cleaning it up now after it's snowed.
Oh no, you just wait till May.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I did have to wait till May.
It was frozen in there.
Oh yeah, there was one time, the 1 year dumped that dump of snow. It decided to rain that very next day, so everything, the snow covered everything, and then it got to about -30, I think, after that. So it just froze everything solid. So yeah, the haunt stuff I didn't get out till May because it dumped that year, and it was retarded.
And then so before we'll show your current stuff here before we move on to the other cool stuff. So look at it. He's got a freaking coat hanger in his skeleton.
That's this guy. That's this guy right here. They're nice and flexible. You can beat the shit out of them.
Right?
That's a clip.
Get out of here. But yeah, it's just more stuff. So
yeah, with this stuff is old masks that I've collected and I've had in my mask collection, and I put them on different forums and stuff. And I think because this is my 25th year, I might do something along the back side of the garage and do a little bit more of haunted walkway into the back, and I'm not sure what I'm going to create this year. I may build a burning kind of church, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do a church or a burning something. I don't know. School, maybe.
There you go. There's Grant as a child.
Bow tie killer.
Bow tie killer. Oh, you know what? That picture is so, as the kids call it, fire.
Boy, pull the rapid fire questions. Wait, we're doing rapid fire questions. We didn't even do the Hunter's Toolbox question of the day. And
we'll do that later. We got DP on right now. We're not done yet. It was a good segue with the fire picture. I should have done it after Christine. I lost that one.
All right, here I got. So as we were talking, I decided that I was going to make some Canadian questions.
Canadian rapid fire questions. Oh, goody.
Canadian rapid fire questions. You ready, eh?
Okay.
We have some more Canadians on this year, so we'll keep these.
So here we go. Are we ready?
Get the thinking power going.
All
First question. Poutine or cheese fries?
Ooh, poutine.
All right. Daryl or Troy?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with homeschool Daryl because I've known.
Yeah,
I got it. Yep. I gotta add Daryl to our list.
Because
I got you, buddy. Hey, Daryl, guess who's coming to your haunt? Not Grant's next year. I'm gonna pass right by Grant's house.
Ogopogo or Bigfoot?
Ogopogo.
All right. Yeah. Hockey or baseball?
What's baseball?
Yeah.
Baseball. Well played. And then the last question, we'll make it haunt related.
Oh, it's only cool in Toronto. Sorry.
We'll make this one haunt related. The facade or the end scare?
Facade.
Yeah.
Well played. Well played.
I like it.
There it is. There it is, Troy.
Rapid fire. Look at that. And I guess that leads us into our next question.
Well done, Troy. The questions just keep coming. What tool could you not? What tool could you not haunt without?
I had to read it twice.
What tool?
Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful.
I know.
Cool.
What cool tool could you not? Oh, a staple gun.
Jeez. Probably paintbrush.
Okay.
Paintbrush?
Yeah.
Yeah, you use a lot. It's a lot of tools for that. There are a lot of uses for that.
Yeah.
Daryl, what do you think?
Yeah, Daryl.
That does rank up there, but is there anything that spray foam can't fix?
You took it right out of my mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Or hide.
That's good. Or hide. Yeah. Mine would be the Sure Foam shape. It's all foam related. Mine's the Sure Foam shaver or a rasp. We have ones here. They're yellow handled, and I've every piece of foam that I've ever done has been touched by
that. Yeah.
Well, you can use that rasp for wrapping up some costumes.
Clothes, costumes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think it's got multiple uses.
It's that. Yep, that's the tool.
If I had one, I'd throw it at you, Troy.
You know what? I have a bunch. I'll give you one. You can throw it at me.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm coming down right now.
Yay! So Dan wants the staple gun, and so that's
staple gun.
That's cool.
All right. It's the thing you got to have, but you can never find.
Lame.
How have you broken?
Oh, the staple gun go.
Yeah, setting up the haunt last year, I brought my own electric staple gun, like a battery powered Milwaukee one.
Ooh.
And I walked around with that thing. It's got a belt clip on it. I walked around with that, and it's like, oh, click, click, click. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Carry on.
See, there
You don't get the blisters. You don't get that massive forearm from.
One's good.
The haunt forearm, where it's like 18 inches wider than the other one, because all you've been doing is staple gunning black.
That's from stapling. Yeah.
Or the
stapling, right? Right.
Listen, Troy, we're talking about this is a haunt show. This isn't your.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I don't have any more intros to go to after this. But I do have an update. Susie usually updates this for us, but I will go ahead and update us.
How many days till Halloween, Troy?
We have 212 days till Halloween Day.
Now that's Halloween Day, not the
Halloween
beginning
Day
of our season.
That is Halloween Day.
Is this where I have to say, "Oh my God, I don't want to go"? It's coming up way too fast. We have to slow down.
I got it. Hey, I got to start building stuff, so I'm right there with you.
Well,
maybe got to slow down.
Early this year.
It is. Yeah, it is one day. No, it's one day. No, it's one day further.
One day later.
One day later.
Yeah, because we had a leopard year.
Yeah, leopard year.
Well, if our weather keeps up like it is, I won't have to wait till May to actually do.
Hey, it's warm right now. Get out there. Why are you talking to us? You should have been out there.
Yeah, it was a 70-degree day. You have no excuses now.
Believe me. Yeah, no, that'll change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's supposed to
Mario,
drop down below freezing again over the next couple of days. So.
Oh yeah.
Dan, did the color of your cup change, or did you? What are you talking about?
It was pink at the beginning, was it not?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
How many drinks do you have there, sir?
I just made 2 because I'm all the way up in the west wing of the house, and I don't want to have to walk all the way back down. So I made 2 drinks, so I don't have to worry about it.
I
know what I'm doing.
Do you?
No clue. But I'm trying to make it look good, all right?
But it looks
like the rest of us, no clue.
I don't know how you got 2 Canadians on at the same time there, but
yeah, it's a whole lot of luck, eh?
Awesome. That was awesome for Daryl to show up, that's for sure.
It was. Well, thank you, Daryl, for coming on tonight. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. And getting a chance to talk with Grant again. I haven't get to physically see him for a while, so it's good to reconnect. And I just admire his work, man. It's so much fun. I've taken classes from him. You should see his. I don't know. Have you ever painted the inside of your garage a normal color? Because everything that he paints, it's on the floor or up against the back of the garage door, and like there's silhouettes, like there's been a nuclear explosion and it's just burned the tombstones into the back of the door.
Still that way.
Yeah. There's
awesome.
There's body outlines spray painted on the floor because he's had to put burn marks on a skeleton, so he lies it on the floor and hits it with the spray gun. You move it, and there's this skeletal burnt remains there. Hilarious.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I used to park both the hearses in there, so it took a while to take them out, paint, put them back in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As was said, King of Haunt Recycling. So
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can find he does have 17 profiles on Facebook because he probably gets in Facebook jail a lot. So if you want to follow along with his adventures, you can find this profile, Grant McDonald. It has the logo right there, so you can find that. By the way, he does make awesome logos, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, I did that too. At one point.
Yeah. Amongst the other 1,000 things he's done in his life.
Mr. Artiste.
Too many
artistes.
And it absolutely shows. So, yeah, you can follow him along there. And, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for quite a long time. And
I first met Troy, and I was like 2006-ish.
Probably, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was one of the Fright Fest years, and then and then we hung out at West Coast after that.
Yeah.
Yep, he did the prop off where you brought it was like $15 or $20 prop off, and you brought the item, and then everybody voted on which one they liked the best. And
I loved that was part of the old Halloween forum thing.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's going way back.
Uh-huh.
That's
So,
going way back.
Yeah, the Halloween Forum initially put out that $20 prop off.
Yeah.
And, I think
maybe it's time to resurrect that, bring that kind of stuff back from the grave.
I know, right?
Oh, we were just talking about that a couple weeks ago.
We were, Daryl, because we're gonna do it on the show.
We'll talk about it off the air. We're gonna keep all our watchers thinking.
Yeah, these people who watch our show they catch these Easter eggs, man. They're good. They're good.
This one's gonna be a good one. I can't wait to talk about it off the air.
It is. It's gonna be cool for next year. So
all right. Well, with that being said, Troy,
what about instead of next year?
Next week?
What next week? Not next year?
Not next year. Next week. Susie's back, right?
Susie's back.
And this guy, Drew Badger. Oh no.
Oh, I thought you meant Frankenstein's monster.
Well, Frank's gonna be there too.
Okay.
Yeah, Frank's always in the background, you know.
Good old Drew Badger.
Big scary show is coming to the haunt tower.
Big scary show is coming to the little haunt tower.
Little haunt tower. Show versus show. Mano a mano. Round one.
Hair versus none.
He does have a lot more hair than me.
Does Drew Badger still have a ponytail?
Does he have a question mark in his beard?
He does not. He absolutely
Only Daryl does. Daryl asks the question. And I can't tell you. I can't tell you, dude. I still look at it. It is a question mark.
That's freaking hilarious.
And he's gone.
No,
like, what the hell?
I was just kind of keeping you guessing.
You know, keeping it a question.
I mean, he's already in his Halloween costume.
Daryl, you're such a good sport.
Thank you
for coming.
What are you going to be for Halloween? I don't know.
That's a
mystery
question.
With that terrible, horrible dad joke.
You know, we're gonna go on Monday, or we're gonna go on Wednesday, and we're gonna look at Daryl's social media, and he's gonna be clean shaven.
Or just have half of it where it's the question mark.
Yeah, I'll just shave the white part.
Yeah,
white part.
Yeah. Thanks to Corinne, he has a whole complex about it now. Those Canadians, man, they'll jab at you. Watch out.
Oh man, Daryl, thanks for being a good sport.
Hey,
Grant, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
I think we're calling it for the night. So everybody, thanks for showing up, watching, and supporting the Haunt Hour. Troy, you have anything special to say?
Good night.
Nope. We're gonna keep this one scary, guys. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 8:00.
Hey, Hoser, have a good one, okay?